So if you've been around for a while, you'll know that one of my favourite things about Animal Crossing is all the little details the developers put in for us to spot. They're not always immediately obvious and can be easily missed if you're just playing casually. It should come as no surprise that 2.0 has come with even more small details for us to spot. So, here we go! Let's start with one that just makes me laugh. Chicken villagers, when they cook, do a little chicken dance. This 100% is not intentional because the animation is the same for every villager when they're cooking, but it's just funny that the chickens just happen to look like they're, well, being chickens. Another villager specific thing that you may have only noticed if you have her is Ione glows in the dark. Her ears, paws and feet will begin to glow once the sun goes down. This is specific to her and I absolutely love that this was included because Nintendo could have just left her colouring as is, but nope, let's make her light up like a glowworm. Speaking of glowing, you've probably noticed that the glowing moss pond item glows.
Well done!
I mean, it's in the name, but what you may not have noticed is that by interacting with it, it makes a really interesting noise. It gives the pond a nice fantasy feel and is perfect for fairy forests you might be thinking of building. The new piggy bank item is very cute, but did you know it's also functional? If you interact with it, you can actually put bells into it. I'm not sure what the limit is for the piggy bank, but it functions similarly to the donation boxes by the looks of things. Just another cute way to store your hard-earned cash and maybe have a little savings pot. And you don't need to smash it to get the money out. You can put things in the science pod. That's right, any miscellaneous object can go into the gooey tube and act as a second decoration, including gyroids, and they still do their funky dance moves whilst inside. If you're looking for a way to turn your builds or homes into a sci-fi den, or you just want everything you own to look like Mewtwo from Pokemon the first movie, then this is a great way to do it. So I briefly mentioned the placement of gyroids in the last point, but there are actually more places these cute dancing statues can be put, including the bathtub and baby furniture. This is actually done by placing the gyroid on the wall at certain heights and allowing it to clip through the objects in front of it to give the effect that the gyroid is actually sitting there. I've included this because I feel like Nintendo did this on purpose, or if they didn't, they've left it in because it's such a cute and fun way to make your builds more interesting. Explore this feature and let me know the coolest or weirdest place you have put a gyroid in your home in the comments down below. Now I'm not 100% this is exclusively from the 2.0 update, but I've never noticed villagers doing this before, so feel free to correct me. But villagers now seem to interact more with the items in their home. Specifically, cats will play with the cat tower. These Reddit users caught Punchy in action with it. I would have tried to get Raymond to do it, but I feel he's a little too sophisticated for that. Do you ever feel you're the only one going out of sync in the stretching routine? Like the whole island's got it down and you're just terrible at it? No? Oh, I guess it's just me. Look, it's really hard, okay? But if you are in a similar boat, then don't worry because other villagers do it too. Watch some of the others in the stretch and you'll notice that they also go out of time occasionally. I just think it's a neat detail that Nintendo didn't make it so that they were all perfectly in sync and could do no wrong. Makes them feel more like individuals instead of one large entity. Also, did you know that this is based on a real thing in Japan? It's called Radio Taiso or Radio Taiso and is even done to very similar piano music. If you look closely on Cappen's boat, specifically behind where he is leaning, you can see a very cute drawing of Cappen's family. It was very likely drawn by Layla as it's a children's drawing. It's really cute to see Cappen carrying around things his daughter has given him, but we know he loves her and his wife as he's always sang about them too. We love you too, Cappen, and we are so glad that you're finally here. When visiting Katrina at her stall, she will tell you your fortune. If you look closely at her crystal ball, an image of you will show up inside of it. This picture is actually your passport photo, so if you want some wacky crystal ball images, maybe change your passport photo every so often and see what you can get. The next couple are going to be specifically details that surround the roost. Now that the roost is finally here, you can invite villagers to visit and spend time with you grabbing a coffee in the cafe. If you happen to invite a villager that has previously lived on your island, they'll acknowledge it when they show up. Normally something about how they miss it or that it's nostalgic, you know, rather than pretending you never existed when you encounter them on a mystery island or re-invite them through the campsite. You can also go for coffee with your friends. But hang on, Johnny over here doesn't have any money. What's he gonna do? No matter. Brewster will just give him water. It's a nice detail that Brewster doesn't allow them to feel left out with no drink, as long as it's cold and not the boiling water from the coffee maker. Inside the roost there are photos on the walls. You may recognise some of the people in them, but if you've played the previous games, you may recognise the locations too. There's a picture of KK when he used to play at the cafe in Wild World or City Folk, a picture of Brewster and Celeste, I assume when they both were still located in the museum, and lastly a picture of the roost from New Leaf when it was a standalone building. It's a nice touch, and I like the continuity that these characters are getting older along with us players and remember those times as much as we do. You can also get takeout coffee from Brewster, but you're not the only one who does. Occasionally you may see your villagers walking around the island with the signature Roost takeout coffee cups. Everyone needs that additional buzz to get through the day, it seems, even on this relaxing island. Likewise, if you buy takeout coffee and run around with the King Tut mask on, you may fall over and you will spill your coffee. What a waste. Crossing Minute has done a very funny video showing this off, and I just love how shocked the villagers are. But are they shocked at you falling down? Or the fact that you've spilt a delicacy? I like to believe it's the latter. The final cute detail from the roost is that if you invite Joan, the old turnip seller from previous games, she can bring Daisy May along with her. This also works in the reverse. But Daisy May is too young for coffee, so Brewster just gives her a little cookie instead. Well, it would be cute if that stupid little bogey drip hanging from her nose wasn't almost touching the cookie. These next couple are going to be from Happy Home Paradise. On the Happy Home Paradise island, not only are there villagers just hanging out on the island, but you can see villagers floating on floaties in the sea. I love how chill they look. Inside the Paradise Planning building, if you go to the second floor, you can see pictures of Digby and Lyle on the walls. It's nice to know they haven't been completely forgotten by Nintendo. I like to think they're holding up the fort in the old Happy Home buildings, and Lolly is just expanding her horizons. That absolutely wasn't supposed to be a pun on the game title, but I realise now that it is. If you happen to do a build for Tortimer, you can adjust his outfit the same as any other villager when you create their home, which means you can finally remove his hat to reveal he only has one strand of hair. I don't know, this was really funny to me because I expected him to be bald, but nope, he has one stuck-up strand. And of course, I couldn't not include the fact that when you take Nico to Winter Islands, he wears the most adorable pair of earmuffs. I know this isn't a small detail because it's right in your face, but I love this monkey and he needs to be acknowledged. I will protect him at all costs. These last few are nothing to do with 2.0, but just small details that I found since making the last two videos that I wanted to share. Starting with the fact that now we have the new camera features, we can finally see things up close in the museum, which includes seeing that the Venus flower baskets are eating the shrimp. I assume they eat it anyway and don't just keep them for later. Do they absorb them? I don't know anything about these weird sea creatures. If you have a mirror in a villager's home, they will pose in front of it. Which one, how vain of them to do it right in front of you, but two, you may recognise the poses. These are the same poses the player character does when trying on outfits in the Able Sisters. If you happen to wear a flower in your hair, pay attention to the leaf on it when the seasons change. The leaf will change colour depending on the season. It's a nice touch, Nintendo, but I will now be concerned about wearing dying flowers in my hair. At least they look pretty, right? Finally, Coco's ears don't bounce like the other rabbits do. I have to thank this Reddit user for this, Yoko Toki, as I would have never noticed this because I like to have all different species on my island. It does make sense though, because Coco isn't like the other rabbits. She's made of the same material and looks like the original gyroids, so her ears wouldn't bounce because they're fixed into place. And that's all the details I have for you from 2.0. If you liked this video, you could give it a like, comment down below any details you have noticed that weren't in this list, or maybe about one from the list that you didn't know about before. Subscribe to see more from me, follow my Twitter and Instagram to see what else I get up to, and I'll see you next time. Bye!